Hi everyone. In this session, we will discuss the orthographic projections. In my last session, we have discussed the introduction to the orthographic projections. In my last session, I discussed what is first angle projection and what is third angle projection. Also, I have discussed. In this session, we will take some components, and for those components, we try to draw the orthographic projections like front view, side view, and top view by adopting one of the system, one of the orthographic system, maybe the first angle projection or third angle projection. As I said in the last class, I said with you, orthographic in almost nowadays the first angle projection is almost used to draw the projections of the component. Now let me move further. In brief, I will discuss what is first angle projection, what is third angle projection now. Now, after that, I try to discuss. Now let me move further to see what is third angle projection and what is first angle projection now. Then I move further to take some components, and for those components, we will try to draw the front view, side view, and top view. So we will take some mechanical components, and for those components, we will try to draw the views, orthographic views of the components. Now let me move further to see what exactly the front view, side view, and top view, and what is first angle projection, what is uh, third angle projection we will discuss. Now you see what is first angle projection, and this we have already discussed. In the case of first angle projection, as I said, front view will be projected to the vertical plane, and top view will be projected to the horizontal plane, and top view will come. Top view will come on the bottom of the XY plane, and side view will come to the right side to the front view, as I said in the last class. So now you take one example object component here. When you see from the front side, the front view will come and projected on the vertical plane like this. In the case of first angle projection, the component will be placed on the first quadrant. When you see the component from the front side, the front view will be projected onto the vertical plane, and the top view will be projected on the horizontal plane. Then the side view will be projected on the perspective plane. So this we are already discussed in our last session. Uh, as I said, the top view will come at the bottom of the XY. The front view will come at the above the XY. Then the left side view will come right side to the front. This is what the brief discussion we are already done in our last session. Now let me move further. What is third angle projection? In the case of third angle projection, so the top view will come above the XY line, and the front view will come below the XY line. So this we have already seen in our last class. You consider one component. In the third quadrant, as you can see. When you see from the top view will come and projected onto the ground, and the left side view will come into the left side plane only, right side view will come at the right side plane only, and the front view will come at the vertical plane, and the top view will come on the horizontal plane. But the top view will come above the XY line, that means above the ground. Then uh, front view will come below the XY line. So this is what happens in the case of the third angle projection. Now let me take one example here. So now you take one example here. So in this case, uh, now you take this example. So when I see this component, now you can see this is what the front view. So why this is coming like this? Let me check this. What is happening here? Now this is what the component. Now when I see this, it looks like this. So this is actually the front view, this is actually the front view. Then when you see from the front, so the pink color face and this face you can see, and this face you can see. So the pink colored faces only you can see when you see this component from the front. So this is the front view. Let me take this, why this is coming, and let me move for one by one, and this is playing automatically. Okay, then I go back again to see, then I take, okay, so now you take this, why this is playing automatically. Now let me take this. This is actually the block that, for this I want to draw the front view and side view, top view, and I'm assuming this is the front view. So when you take this as a front view, so the pink colored faces, so this face you can see and this face you can see in the front, and this will be projected on the vertical plane. Uh, so you can see, so this edge and this edge will coincide, and this will coincide. Now this is playing automatically. Uh, Let me check why this is playing automatically. Now, okay, so this is only coming like this, and then, okay, when you see from the front, so you will find this face and this face. So these two faces will become your front view. As you can see, so these two faces will be projected onto the vertical plane. If these two faces are projected onto the vertical plane, it looks like this. You will find this edge, and these steps, and this edge will coincide here, and this edge and this edge will coincide here, and this will coincide here, so that you will find these two faces. These two faces will be projected. You can see only these two faces, which will be projected onto the vertical plane as a front view like this. Then when you see from the top, so the yellow colored faces and as well as these two faces you can see from the top, because this edge and this edge will coincide, this and this will coincide. So you will find this face, and this face, and these three faces are projected onto the horizontal plane. So you will find this L shape and these two faces. And totally you have three faces, first, second, and third face. So these three faces are projected onto the horizontal plane like this. Then when you see this block from the left side, you will find this plane and as well as these two faces. So you will find this face, and this face, and these three faces are projected onto the side view or perspective plane. So in this way, so let us draw the faces here. First, XY line, draw an XY line, and we are adopting the first angle projection. So draw the front view first. So with this length, then with this height, then draw these faces, then take this top view, and with the width, so you will find with this width, then you take the height, then you project these two faces also. Then similarly, and the right side view, left side view will come to the right side view, so to the front view. This is our front view. You will get these three faces right side to the front view like this. If the values are not given in this case, you take the values, assumed values, you can draw the orthographic projections for this figure also. Now let me take one more example here. Now you take this example and you take the front view first, and I'm assuming this is my front view. And from this point, I mean from this side, I'm observing the component. So this will become the view that side, the view from which I am observing the component will become the front view, and top view will be, I mean, from which you are observing, and the left side view will be left side like this. So when you see this component from the front, you will find this blue color faces, and totally you will get three rectangles with the given dimensions in the front view, and these three faces will be projected onto the vertical plane like this. So this is the face projected onto the vertical plane, and similarly this plane is this, and this will become this one. Now draw the uh, top view, or the, okay, let us draw the top view. So when you see this component from the top, you will find this face and this face. Totally you have two faces. Now you see here, so totally you have two faces, first face and second face, and you have one more edge here. So thus that edge you cannot see from the top, so that we need to represent this edge as a dotted line here. So this edge as a dotted line here. Now let us draw the left side. Okay, so now the top view is projected onto the horizontal plane, and the front view is projected onto the vertical plane like this. Now let us draw the left side view. Now we are observing this component from the left. Now you can see, so you will find this yellow colored face, and this will be projected onto the side view plane like this. Now along with that, you will also find the dotted lines. So this edge, this dotted line edge you cannot see. So this edge you cannot see, so that I am representing as a dotted line. And similarly, you have one more edge here. So that edge you cannot see, and you can see that edge as a dotted line here. So here you have one dotted line, and here you have dotted line. So those edges you cannot see, so that I am representing as a dotted lines here. So total you have three views here. Front view is this one, which is projected on the vertical plane, and top view on the horizontal plane, side view on the side plane or perspective plane will looks like this. Now let us draw the front view first. Let us draw the front view, draw a XY line, and this is the first angle projection, so that draw the front view above the XY line like this with the given dimensions. So totally you have three faces in it, 1, 2, and 3, and take the length and height. First you construct this rectangle, then you construct another rectangle with the given dimensions, length and height. So this is what the second rectangle, length and height. So with this length and height, you construct a rectangle. Then you take the length and height of the third rectangle and construct the total. You have three rectangles. So with the given dimensions, you project it. Then the next part is to draw the top view. If it is the first angle projection, the top view will come below the XY line like this. Now this will become your front view. Then project these lines. So project these edges to the bottom, then construct the top view from this figure. So now this will become your length, and this will become your length, and this will become your width, and this will become your edge. And with these given dimensions, so construct the top view for the given faces dimensions. So totally you have two faces here, and similarly you have a dotted line here that needs to be shown in the top view also. And similarly, in the case of the first angle projection, you have the left side view. Okay, so this left side view will come to the right side, and which will be projected on the perspective plane. So this comes to the right side to this block. And similarly, so this will become your top, and we are looking this component from the left side, so the view will come right side like this. Now you take this, the same replica will come to the right side with the given dimensions. You take this length and this width and the height you take, and simply we need to project these lines, and you construct the projection also, what will be the height and what will be this height, and with the given dimensions construct the side view also. In this figure you can observe that The front view will be, in the case of first angle projection, the front view we are projected above the XY line with the given dimensions. Top view we are constructed below the XY line with the given dimensions. Then the left side view we are constructed right side, on the front view, right side to the front view on the perspective plane, PP. So now let me move further to see another example, and this will become your left side view, front view, and top view. Now let me take one more example here. Okay, so this is my front view. This is my front view. Then I'm observing this component from this side. So when I see this component from this side, you will find this face, and this face is hidden. This face is hidden, and finally you will get a dotted line here, and you have a dotted line. Then you have one dotted lines here. So two dotted line, one vertical dotted line, one horizontal dotted line you will get, and this face you will get. Finally, you will get another dotted line here. So let me project this face first, then I need to draw the dotted lines. Okay. After projecting this face, then as I said just now, this will become your dotted line and this will become your dotted line. You cannot see those edges, so that we need to represent it as a dotted line. And this will become your front view. Now let me construct the top view, and I'm observing this component from the top. Okay. Then let me take a pointer first. Okay. So I'm observing this component from the top. So when I observe this component from the top, so this face you can see, and this face also exactly you can see, and that will fit in this gap. Then you can find these two faces, and similarly you can find one dotted line here and one more dotted line here and another dotted line here. So totally you have first phase, second phase, third and fourth phases. Along with that, we have one dotted line here at this location. Then here also we have one dotted line, and here also we have one dotted line. Let me move further. Okay, you project all these points, then it looks like this. As I said just now, you will find this face and this U-shaped face, and this face exactly will fit into this U shape. Then this edge you cannot see, so that we need to represent that as a dotted line like this. Then these two edges also you cannot see, so you have to represent these two edges also as a dotted line at exactly with this length. So this will be your top view. Now let me draw the left side view like this. When you see this component from the left, you will find this face, and you can also find this face, and these two faces also you can. So totally you will find first, second, first phase, and in this gap you will find one more phase exactly that will fit, and similarly you will find this phase and this phase. Then you will find one dotted line here, one dotted line here, and similarly you can find this dotted line, and this dotted line will coincide. Okay, so let me draw the front view, left side view first. Okay, it looks like that. As I said just now, you will find this face, and you have this face exactly. This face fits in this shape. Even this edge and this edge will coincide, so that these two planes will coincide with each other. Then this face will exactly fit into the gap of this line, and this also similar. And similarly, you have the dotted line in this projection, and you have dotted line in this projection. So totally you have two dotted lines, because you cannot see this edge when you see from the left. So that's why we will get the dotted lines at this location. At this location also you will find the dotted line. Now draw an XY line first and construct the front view. So this view above the XY line, with the given dimensions, with the length, width, and height. Now draw the top view. Okay, project these lines bottom, project these lines bottom, then construct this one. So with the width, so with the length and width, so this is exactly the length because we are observing this component from this side, so that this will become width and this will become height, or length and height will become. So now with this length, you project, simply project these lines to get the width or the length. Now construct these rectangular faces also with the given dimensions, but in this case the dimensions are not given, so consider all the dimensions if is given. Then you will find a dotted line here, as I said. So exactly you project this line to get a dotted line here, and similarly you will find one more dotted line here and one more dotted line here that is not shown here, but here we have to represent the dotted line here and one more dotted line here. And similarly, uh, you move forward to see or to construct this side view. So exactly this side view will come here. You project this line to get the height. You project this height to get the projections of the webs. And similarly, you get the dotted line here and dotted line here. But don't forget to draw a dotted line here and here. This is what the front view, side view, and top view of the component, mechanical component, which is given in this figure. Now, let me move further to see one more block, and this is my front view. Okay, so if we look this figure from this side, you will find this face, and this face, and this face also you will find, and this edge in front side and back side edge will coincide with each other. Similarly, the front edge and back edge will also coincide with each other. And finally, you will get a, a dotted line at this location, dotted line at this location. Let me project this front view onto the vertical plane. Project all those points. As I said just now, you will find this face, this face, this face, and similarly you will have one projection here. Then you will find one dotted line here because we have a slot here. This slot you cannot see from the front, so that you will get one dotted line at this edge. Exactly at this depth you will find one dotted line. Then let me move further to see the top view. Okay, you project all these points, and exactly you will get this line, and this projection you will get, and similarly you will get this rectangle, and you will get one more rectangle at the mid of this plane. Okay, so this is how we need to draw the top view in this case. Then, as I said, even though it is an inclined plane, it looks like a rectangle when you see from the top. So one rectangle, and here you have a slot you can represent here. Then we have one projection here, so that can also be represented here with the given dimensions at the given locations. And similarly, the side view is from this, and side view is like this, and you will find this face with this height, and you have this face and this face. As you can see, project all those points, so you will find this face and this face, and similarly you have this face with this height, and similarly you can also find this face up to this height. So up to this height only you can see this face, blue colored face up to this edge, and below this you cannot find. So you have one edge here, and this edge we need to represent this as a dotted line, so that you cannot see, so that I am representing this as a dotted line. Now let us draw all these projections. Draw an XY line first, and above the XY line represent this with length, width, and height of the given dimensions. Now project the lines from the front view like this. Project the lines and represent this shape exactly with the given dimensions by projecting the lines at the bottom. Now project this side view also. Project this top edge and project the bottom, and the left side view will come to the right side, as I said just now. Then project all those points to represent this shape here. And this will become your orthographic projection of the given component that you can see here. Then you take one more component here, and this is your front view. And when you see this component from the front, you will find this blue colored faces. Okay, this blue colored faces in a single plane like this. Okay, so you will find these two edges are the webs are these two, and this is exactly the V block shape that you can find here. Then you have two projections, blue colored projections, that you can see the both sides of the block. Then you will find one rectangular uh, face here, and similarly you will find one edge here that is not shown here, but here you have one edge. So exactly here you have one edge here, and this edge also needs to be represented here. Then this is exactly the projection of the front face onto the vertical plane. Then take the top view, and when you see from the top, so you will find these three faces. Then you have one more face here, and these two faces can also observe on the top like this. As I said just now, here also you will find one line here. First face, second, third, four faces you will get. First face, second, third, fourth face. So this face represents the bottom, the top left corner face represents this face, and the top right corner face you will represent this face. Similarly, you have a V shape here, and this V shape looks like this. Then finally you will find this shape, and besides this V shape, so left side and right side to the shape, you will find two rectangular blocks, just you can observe with a given length. And similarly, when you see this block from the left, so you will find this face and this dotted line you will find, and you have one more dotted line in. And similarly, you will also find this dotted line, and similarly, you will also find this dotted line. We need to drop to the bottom, and we need to draw this dotted line as a horizontal line. Then we have to drop one dotted line exactly with this length. Now project all those. First I am projecting this face. Similarly, draw the dotted line here, but here we need to get one dotted line here. That is not shown here. One dotted line here and one dotted line here. One dotted line, exactly you will get one dotted line here and one dotted line here. And similarly, you will get one more dotted line here, one more dotted line here, and finally you will get one more dotted line here. So then project all these points and project this front view above the XY line. Then you have one dotted line, as I said here. So, but here also we need to get one dotted line here. Here also we need to get, and that dotted line needs to be shown here also. But that is not shown here. But here it is correct. It is shown as a dotted line here. Then top view, as you can see, it is exactly correct. But side view is a little bit different here, but here you will find one dotted line, horizontal dotted line, and similarly you will find one vertical dotted line and as well as horizontal dotted line up to here. So from here to here you will get one dotted line, and similarly you will get one dotted line here also. Then construct the side view here. So yes, exactly in this case he is showing. So now you can see for this drawing, so he's showing one dotted line here and he's showing one dotted line here, and similarly he's also showing this dotted line in side view. But here also, oh, I think he has to represent. So after projecting all these faces, so then let me move further to see one more diagram. And this you see here, this is my front view, and project all these faces. And even though it is a cylindrical shape, it looks like a rectangle. As you can see, when you see the cylinder uh, from the front, it looks like a rectangle. You cannot see the curved shape in front view. Okay, so that So you will get one rectangular block here, but finally you will get one dotted lines. Inside we have a hollowness with certain thickness. It's a hollow cylinder, so that you will get two dotted lines like this. Then similarly, you have one more dotted line here that is not shown here, but of course, so we need to represent one more dotted line here, but that is not shown here. So exactly at this location, we need to get one dotted line. So this is the front view. Then uh, take the top view next. So you will get the top view like this. So you will get one dotted line here because we have a hidden edge. So to represent that hidden edge, we need to draw a dotted line, and similarly here also, but these two holes directly you can see here. But here exactly you have a V shape here that is not shown here. You have a V shape here. So, but exactly you will get a V shape here. So now let us draw the left side view like this. Now it looks like this. So you will find this face. So with this height, and you will find the rectangular block here, and similarly you will find two dotted lines here also. So you will find two dotted lines here. To represent these two holes, we have two dotted lines here and two dotted lines here, but that is not shown here. Let me check whether these dotted lines will be shown on the side view while drawing the projections. Draw an XY line, then project this, and finally in this case is representing these two lines, as you can see. So we have one dotted line here and one dotted line here, and similarly, so this is also a dotted line. This is also, these three dotted lines you will get here. So then, as you can see, it is a hollow shape, so that you will get one dotted line here, one dotted line here, and similarly you go to the top view, and it looks like this. Okay, so when you see from the top, of course, but if it is not given, so it might be uh, uh, as a rectangular plane. I think here it's a rectangular plane here, but this view looks like this. But now it looks like this. When you see from the top, you will find this face and this face. Similarly, you will find this face. So please make a correction that it is a line. So you don't have a web here. You don't have a web here, but here is showing the web. Okay, but here is showing the web. So that means you have a depression here, so with V shape here. So it's absolutely correct, definitely you have a V shape here, but in this case he needs to represent V shape at this location. But please make a correction that here we need to represent one V shape. And similarly, when you see from the left side, it looks like this. Okay, so you will get this shape and this shape, and finally you will get one dotted line here, but of course he's showing at this location. Now this is our orthographic projection of the given component. It looks like this. Now you take one more figure here. Okay, so initially is drawing the top view here. Okay, and this is your top view, and this is the front view. So finally you will get a dotted line here. Finally, you will get a dotted line here. Of course, you will get one more dotted line here. Similarly, you will get one more dotted line here. And all you have the dotted lines here. So wherever you cannot see the edges, so those edges can should be shown as a dotted lines. As you can see, this edge is shown here, and this edge is shown, and this edge is shown. So totally showing all the edges, no issue at all in this case. And the top view is showing here. Okay, front view, as you can see, you will get this shape, and similarly you will get the shape also. And the top view looks like this, and let me move further to see. This is one more figure here. When you see from the top, it looks like this. You have a cone shape object here. So in this case, he's given the dimensions also. As you can see, in this case, he's also given. So the height is 50. Okay. When you see from this top, you will find this face and this face only, first face and second. So exactly shown that here. So when you see from the top, you will find this face and this face, and similarly you will find these faces also, because these two faces are having some inclination. so that you will find this face and this face. And finally, you have an apex here. So this will be the apex when you see from the top, and you will find this face when you see from the top, and similarly this face represents this face, and the inside faces, these two represents the inside faces of these two. Now let me move further see. So thank you one and all for this session. Let me go back what we have discussed as of now. We have seen the different components, orthographic projections, and now let me go back, and this is one component we are covered, and in which also you will find all the dotted lines. Carefully we need to draw this with the given dimensions, because this component is having number of depressions, number of slots, so that we must be very very careful while drawing the component. So where we get the dotted lines, where we get the thick lines, so we need to be very very careful about it. Then we have seen the other component like let me go back, and this component also we have seen, but please make a correction that in this case it needs to represent two dotted lines here, because we have a projection, a depression here that is not shown here. Please make a correction here. And similarly, dotted lines also needs to be represented here, that is also not shown here. Okay, so two dotted lines, these the hollowness needs to be represented in this case, that is not shown here. Then similarly, this V shape, this depression also needs to be represented here, and that is not shown here. Please make correction. Then similarly, that shape also needs to be represented here. This V shape also needs to be represented here. And similarly, this also reflects in the side view. So we must be very, very careful where we have the depressions, where we have the protrusions while drawing the component. And where we get the dotted lines, where we get the thick lines, so we must be very, very careful. So then before this figure, we have seen another component, so that is also very a good component, and in this case you will find one dotted line here that is not shown here, because we have depression at the bottom of this component, so that you will get one dotted line here. So this dotted line is represented in orthographic projection, but here also this dotted line needs to be represented. And similarly, even in the side view also we need to represent these two dotted lines, these two edges as dotted lines like this, and similarly this edge is also needs to be represented as a dotted line here. Then in this case also these two dotted lines needs to be represented, these two dotted lines needs to be, but that is not shown here in this case. But in this case, as you can see, when you see from the front, so it looks like this. Of course, dotted line is represented exactly at the height, but in this case also is represented dotted lines, absolutely correct. And similarly, in the top view also he needs to represent the dotted lines, but he is not shown the dotted lines here. So two horizontal dotted line needs to be represented in the top view, these two edges, but that is not shown here. So please make a correction, these two dotted lines will also come here. Now let me move further to see what we are seeing before this figure. So this is also very very important figure, and almost this figure is correct. I think he's drawn the dotted line here, projection here, so no issue in this is correct, and is showing the dotted line here. So projections he is drawing here, of course. Okay, this is okay. So then in front view it looks like this. This is a dotted line here, this is a dotted line here, but this is not exactly at this location. I mean, with the dimensions we need to draw. And similarly, we will get one dotted line here that is not shown here, but we will get a dotted line here. And this top view will looks like this only. Now let me go back. This figure, of course, front view looks like this, and Front view is this one. You will get one dotted line here and dotted line here. And okay, this edge and this bottom edge will coincide and these edges will coincide, so that nowhere you will get a dotted line in front view here. Even in the top view, you can observe here, you will get one dotted line here. And similarly, in this case also, you will get two dotted lines to the two projections. And you will get one dotted line here, of course, that is. But whereas here, he forgot to indicate the dotted line here, and you will get one more dotted line here. Please draw this dotted line here and draw one more dotted line here. These two are the corrections in the top view. Please make the correction. And similarly, when you see the side view, we don't have any correction. Of course, we will have one dotted line here, one dotted line here, and these two are represented in the side view itself. So side view is correct and front view is correct, but whereas top view, we will get one dotted line here and one more dotted line here. Now let me go back the other figure. Of course, in this case, this is your front view. You will get these three faces. Then you will get the top view, 1, 2 faces, and similarly you will get one dotted line here that you can observe in this horizontal plane. Similarly, when you see from the side, this yellow shaped face you can observe. And finally, you will get one dotted line here, one dotted line here. So that you can observe in the side view also, exactly in this case. And on the top view also, you will get one dotted line here that you can observe here. So in both the cases, you can observe side view and top view, you will get one dotted line. Those are clear in this case also. Now let me go back the first figure that we are discussed. So of course, this is our first figure. As you can see, this is front view means, so you will observe this face and this pink colored faces you can observe. Okay. So, and this edge and this edge, the edges will coincide, so that this plane and this face, this plane and this plane will coincide. It looks like this on the vertical plane. And when you see from the top, so you will find this L-shaped face and these two faces, and all these three faces will be projected on the horizontal plane. It looks like this. Then when you see from the left side, you will find this face and these two faces, and these three faces will combine together and projected onto the perspective plane. It looks like this. So now let us draw all these figures here. And in first angle projection, first front view will come above XY line, top view will come below XY line, then left side view will come to the right side. It looks like this. Now we have seen what is third angle projection. As I said with you, in the case of third angle projection, so front view will come below the XY line, top view will come above the XY line. Whereas in the case of first angle projection, front view will come above XY line and top view will come below XY line. Okay. So left side view will come onto the perspective plane. So this is what we are covered as of now. This is some of the examples that we took in this session. These are the commonly we come across outside these examples. Now in the next class, we will try to discuss, we will try to see the projections of the some more components, some more complicated components in the next session. But now I would like to close the session here now. The next session, I will take few more complicated components which involves the cylindrical surfaces and curved surfaces. I will take some more examples having cylindrical and spherical surfaces we will see. And with this, I close the session and thank you one and all.